Someone did the unthinkable. The 3D version of Vampire Survivors. Everybody and their grandma's ashes are experiencing this epilepsy in 3D right now.
This is what the game looks like. Oh, my frames are gone.
Megabonk is a game made by Didinad. Man, Western names are the weirdest. 8 months ago, he uploaded a video titled, "I am making Vampire Survivors but 3D." And I was there. I saw this child being made. And now though it has released, I finally got to play with it. At that time, I thought no way Vampire Survivors will work in 3D. My fucking god, works better than Tesla for hiding bodies. The concept is basically the same. You are a furry or a clanker. Yeah, that's the actual name. You have a weapon. You get more weapons, you kill enemies, get XP, upgrade those weapons, and survive as long as you can. Now, since this game takes inspiration directly from Vampire Survivors, it improves upon a lot of things. Obviously, it being 3D means maps are a lot more dynamic. Now you have to worry about enemies falling in your head or you falling onto enemies. The outcome is the same. Currently, there are only 2 maps with 3 different tiers. Maps are also auto-generated, so every single run is a bit different. It's really RNG heavy. Sometimes you get everything you need right at the spawn, and sometimes it's like finding a good video to have food with. Just doesn't happen anymore. The maps are filled with a lot of POIs, point of interests. There are shrines, which when charged, gives you 3 random stat upgrade to choose from. Moai Tuku Turi. I was having a great day before I tried to pronounce that. The Chad statue, which gives you 3 passive items to choose from. Magnet statue sucks all the XP in the map and gives it to you. Shady guy sells you a passive item. Music box, which goes so fucking hard. I almost forgot my mother never wanted me. Chests, which instead of upgrading your weapon, gives you a random passive item, but you also need to buy them with gold, which is also dropped by the enemies upon death. Chests get progressively more expensive the more you unlock them. However, some enemies or bosses drop a free chest upon death. And if you get lucky, you can also find free chests laying around. There is also Boss Curse, which summons 1 additional boss, Mini Boss Statue, Greed Shrine, which increases difficulty, Microwave, which can be used to duplicate items, the cost being gold, and an item of same rarity, and lastly Battle Statues, which summons a horde of enemies. Upon defeating any of the bosses or the enemies from Battle Statue, you get a free chest. Even though both maps have different enemies and bosses, the maps themselves are not that different from each other. All the POIs are the same, except desert have tumblers and tornadoes, and music box is exclusive to forest. I wish there was more to the maps and more maps, but hey, the game is still new, let him cook. In the description of the demo video, he said he is focusing on the movement, and he delivered like Indian women living in poverty. Characters have hoverboard, skateboard, you can bee-hop, slide, double jump, triple jump, wall climb. Hell, enemies can even play volleyball with you. You being the ball, not the player. The game also improves upon other things, like instead of a 30-minute timer in Vampire Survivors, here it has a 10-minute countdown. Within the 10 minutes, you have to find the boss portal and defeat him. Regardless of whether you defeat the boss or not, when the timer runs out, a horde of wisps will spawn, and they progressively get stronger. If you defeat the boss, the next tier will unlock. In tier 2, after defeating the boss, you can take the portal, which will take you to the other dimension. Not really. It's the same map, but now it's blue.
What is wrong with you? Why are you blue?
Now you have to do the same thing again for another 10 minutes and find the portal and defeat the boss. But everything has more HP and does a lot of damage. Tier 3 has 3 portals and 3 bosses. The 3rd dimension is red, but the trees are bald. And you have to do the same thing here again, but the boss gets its own arena and has some different attacks. You also get to show off how unemployed you are. Endless runs. Technically you can do endless run in any tier, but you won't survive as long. But in tier 3 you get to loot 3 maps, so you can become much more powerful and survive longer. There is also a leaderboard. That's why everybody is grinding this game so hard. I personally attempted a world record run. It says I am in the top 96%. That means I am better than 96% of the player base. It's only natural for a gamer like me. Characters in this game are somewhat balanced, especially if you compare them to Vampire Survivors. There are no invincible characters, and every character can work in an endless run. Each one of them have a signature weapon and a passive. Calcium, for example, gets progressively faster. Clank gets crit every level, and Monkey can climb walls and gets additional HP every level. But what makes some characters better than the others is simply movement. There is a reason why there were so many monkeys in the leaderboard. Even though his passive is not that good, it's because he can easily scale the map, and you want to explore the map fast to get more shrines, passive, and all the good stuff. Now, having too much movement doesn't help you in the late game, but it's the first few minutes of the game which decides your fate. Characters with average movement still do fine, especially if they have a good passive. But slow characters, while can still work for casual, they struggle to make it to the leaderboard. My boy Ogre, for example, is an underdog right now. He gains 1% damage every level, which should make him a top tier character. But bro moves like a single mother pregnant with triplets, and because of that, nobody wants to play him. Just for context how much movement speed matters, there was a run where I basically had everything for at least a 100k run, but because my character couldn't make that jump by a centimeter, I died. There is no meta character in this game yet. There might be, but people still finding stuff, so who knows? Ogre might be him. But what really disappointed me was there is no jiggle physics in this game. Knock knock, hello. Why are they so stiff? Chest day, is it? If so, then that's the
perfect pump.
My personal favorite character is obviously a Monkey. Monkey is the GOAT of this game. Makes the game super fun, enjoyable. His movement outshines every other character in the game, and because you can scale the map so fast, you can get a lot of shrines, which makes up for his HP passive. Going back to any other character after playing Monkey is so sad. Like sometimes there is a golden scar level of loot on the top of these huge elevated places, and you have to maneuver around the whole map in order to get there. Honestly makes me want to nuke humanity and return to Monkey. Not to mention survivability, just climb walls. You are literally a monkey. What are they gonna do? Climb walls? Oh shit, they can. Weapons have the same story as characters. Every weapon can work. However, there are some meta picks like Dexecutioner. In the beginning, it's a small PP sword, kinda meh, but over time it becomes a laser with the highest DPS among weapons. There are other meta picks, but I don't know yet. I have seen people using all sorts of weapons and still getting into leaderboards. The community is so divided about weapons. Some say bow is ass. Shroud says bow is the best weapon in the game. Some people say aura sucks, but there are 3 aura players on the leaderboard as of 30th September. Nobody knows what's the best. I mean, the first world record guy with 1 million kills was using a fucking banana. I don't know if it's a bug with banana, but when you have too many of them, it stops following enemies. Instead, it creates a tornado of bananas around you, and it insta-kills enemies. But against bosses, it doesn't do anything, because they just won't hit unless you run into the boss, and when you do that, you will likely die. It happened to me. Sadly, when I checked the footage, OBS said, what footage? Also pretty sure this weapon is a Terraria reference. Banana Rang. My personal favorite weapons being Aura. You just sit there and just aura farm to the max. Slutty Rocket. I have a theory. Enemies have gold. This follows enemies, a gold digger. And Sniper Rifle because you can manually aim, which makes you get less kills. A short note, these weapons aren't the best, I just like them. You are allowed maximum of 4 weapons. Some of them work so well with each other, like you can combine Aura, which is a circle of death, Axe, which after upgrading becomes a circle of death, Chunkers, which also becomes a circle of death, and Flame Walker, guess what? A circle of death. With all these, you can become a glob of extinction. You are allowed 4 tomes, each one of them improve a stat. They are boring, I don't want to talk about them honestly. Pick whatever you want, have fun, but if you are going for the leaderboards, luck and experience tome is the way to go. Why luck instead of damage? It gives you better upgrades, shrines, and most importantly, items. Luck is probably the most unreliable stat in the game. Sometimes with 30% luck, I get 3 legendaries in a row, and sometimes with 300% luck, I get fucking 5 burgers in a row. I have seen some people get common items back to back with the max luck book, which is somewhat around 1500%. Without luck, you are fucked. And with luck, you are even more fucked because you are sacrificing a damage slot. Characters are balanced, weapons are somewhat balanced, so how do you break the game? Items. These things single-handedly change the fate of your run. Items come in 4 rarity, common, rare, epic, and legendary. But some common items are as good as legendaries. Currently there are 3 ways to get items: chests, which sucks, Moai Shrine, which also sucks, and Shady Guy, which also sucks because it's so hard to find him. Shady Guy has different colored hats for different rarities of items he's selling. Black for common, blue for rare, pink for epic, and yellow for legendaries. Items, as you might have already guessed, are beyond broken. There are items that can deal more damage than your max out weapons. Items that can make you chunky. Some of them are boss melters. There was a strat with a common item that makes you immortal. A common item. Kevin. Who the fuck is Kevin anyway? I think it's been fixed in the recent patch. Characters, weapons, tomes, everything else aside, if you get the right items early on, nothing's stopping you. But that's the catch, getting the right items. Think of it as putting a baby into a blender and then trying to find who's the father. Except it's a baby of Bonnie Blue. This game is so RNG heavy when it comes to endless runs. It's all because of leaderboard, which kinda makes this game depressing in my opinion. Sure, it creates a gameplay loop, but hitting that R button every single time you don't see 5 shrines in front of you is kinda sad. Not even Pyro has hit that R that many times. And he has a compilation. Now as always, I'll yap about my favorite weapon in the game, and it's Thunder Mitts. Purely because of the description, upon hitting an enemy, clap their cheeks so hard it generates a lightning strike. 10-second cooldown. That's how my uncle powered his house. To be honest, enemies in this game are dumb as fuck. I mean, I never expected Elden Ring level of enemy design from an indie dev who relies on YouTube SLOP to market his game. They just walk into you and die, and for the most part it works, but gets repetitive. There are some enemies in the game which do have different attacks. Cactus, for example, can spawn a spike on the ground aimed at your butthole. And because all the enemies just walk into you, you never expect these kind of attacks and die. Bosses are a bit better though. They do a lot of goofy stuff, but every single one of them is obsessed with spawning something beneath you. I don't know why. My personal favorite enemy in the game is Scorpio Nasi, unironically the most feminine character in the game. This game is hard, man. When you go for items that help you survive, you don't have enough damage and you die. Slowly but surely. When you go for damage, something one-shots you. When you try to find a balance, you get neither damage nor survivability. At this point, you just pray to the RNG gods. In my Vampire Survivors video, I talked about how the game compares to gambling. That was a satire. This isn't even a joke anymore. This game is probably the closest thing to the gambling that you can experience without putting money on the line. Everybody is addicted to it, including me. I have like 50 hours in 4 days. And the worst thing is, if you are going for the leaderboards, the top players might be cheaters.
Welcome everyone to my channel. Today I'll show you cheats for Megabonk.
It's totally possible to do a 1,000,000 kill run, but the recent patch notes mention cheaters breaking up the leaderboard. So not only is this game hard, it's basically gambling against potential cheaters. Speaking of hard, how's your mom? The challenges, they are brutal. Beat the game without any weapons. What the fuck does that even mean? What am I supposed to do? Blow them, make them happy, and then expect them to not kill me? Is this even possible? There are few things that this game could use. Number 1, co-op. Please add co-op. I want to bonk with my non-existent friends. Number 2, no evolutions. Really? You are telling me a 3D version of Vampire Survivors doesn't have evolutions? Hell no. That is so disappointing. 0 out of 10. I mean, with the evolutions, leaderboards would go absolutely crazy, but doesn't mean they won't be fun. Who cares about leaderboard anyway? Not me. Not at all. Anyway, that's it. This game is absolutely amazing. It's fun, sweaty, but so much fun. I'm cooking some goofiest builds. Maybe I'll make another video. But for now, see you around. Thanks and goodbye.